Hi there, Sparkrock community. mySparkrock, our employee and manager self-service portal, has had its fresh new interface for a little while, and now we're going to build on that and announce the new mySparkrock Finance Manager functionality. This release is all about taking mySparkrock up a level for our amazing finance customers. We're adding new tools to mySparkrock, and managers with the appropriate license can use them wherever you are on your desktop or mobile device. You can do things like create purchase requisitions, receive and close purchase orders, submit payment requests, view posted purchase invoices, and finally do financial approvals for things like expense claims, purchase requisitions, purchase orders, purchase invoices, and payment requests. These options are all found in the Finance and Purchasing menu, so if you don't see them and think you should, check out the release notes for instructions to enable the menu. The key is that authorized users can do all of these things without ever needing to log into Sparkrock 365. Let's take a look. To access purchase requisitions in mySparkrock, we'll go to the Finance and Purchasing menu, and then we'll select Purchase Requisitions. Depending on how your organization has it set up, you'll either see all purchase requisitions you have access to, or just the ones you've submitted. You can filter by requisition type, location, or you can search for a purchase requisition, and then you can export to Excel or create a new one, which is exactly what we're going to do right now. You've got a banner across the top showing the status of the requisition as it moves through the submission, approval, and completion steps. You'll see the status change each time. So we'll choose our requisition type, give it a description if we'd like, set the location, and you've got your requested receipt date and your posting date. mySparkrock will respect the settings established in Sparkrock 365. For example, in Purchases and Payable Setup, location and then details are set to mandatory, but account set is not. And as we go through and create this purchase requisition, you'll see that these fields are or aren't mandatory, but it may be different for you. Now, I have an Add Vendor button here in the vendor section. That's because my organization has multiple vendors disabled in the purchases and payables setting. If you don't see an Add Vendor button here, that means your organization is set up for allowing multiple vendors, and you'll see in a moment how we can set that when we add each line. So for now, I will add a vendor. I'll choose First Up Consultants, and it shows my vendor here. If you have attachments, you can open the attachments section and attach a file. And in the comments section, there's internal comments that are just shown internally and external comments that will be printed on the purchase requisition. Once we have the purchase requisition header ready, we can hit save. Now it's time to add items to this requisition. So we'll open up the Purchase Requisition Lines tab. And you can see we have two choices. We can add an expense or we can add an existing item. I'm going to add an existing item. And let's say I want to add this lamp here. You can see we have our lamp. Now you recall that in the purchase and payable settings, account set is not mandatory for me, but I will select one anyway. You can either scroll down and find the account set you want, or you can search for it, which I will do now. And you can see once I've selected the account set, it's pre-selected the GL account here. And I will add in my quantity. I only want one lamp. You might also recall that details was mandatory, so I will give it a detail here. And our account set has also pre-selected our dimensions. So you can change that if you're allowed to and need to. Otherwise, you can leave it the default. So I'm going to hit save here. Now, if you have budget checking enabled, which I don't, you'll see a budgeting tab here. And then when you're ready to select your approval, you'll open up the approver selection. You'll select verify. You can see we have our approval ready. And once that is set, we can select submit to submit this for approval. Are we sure we want to submit it? Yes, we do. And if we scroll back up to the top, you can see the status has changed to submitted now. And once it's approved, it will show approved here. We'll go into approval later in the financial approval section. Just remember, your setup might look different depending on the settings that your administrators have set in purchases and payables settings. In mySparkrock, you can now review, receive, and close purchase orders. Go to Finance and Purchasing, and then select Purchase Orders and Receiving. You'll see a list of purchase orders, and you can toggle between all of the purchase orders or just show your own. To open a purchase order, you select it. Then you can see information about the purchase order, the vendor. You can view the items in that purchase order, see any attachments, view the Pay To vendor, shipping and receiving information, and then you can show the approvers. When you're looking at the items, you can expand to see the details. So we can see the quantity, how many have been received, and anything from the details line. If we go down to the shipping and receiving section, we can show the shipping information and then links to any of the receipts if there are any. Now you can see that this purchase order hasn't been received yet. However, this purchase order has been partially received. You can see there is 12 items, 3 have been received. And if we go down to the shipping and receiving section, and we can open up these receipts to see more information. You can now receive and close purchase orders in mySparkrock. So to be able to do this, there's actually settings in Sparkrock 365 that need to be enabled. Allow usage of close purchase order and receive purchase orders on mySparkrock. These can be found on the mySparkrock user profile to enable or disable for a group of users, but it can also be set on the mySparkrock user setup for individual users. I have them both on so that my users can receive and close in mySparkrock, but you may want to adjust your settings. So back on this purchase order, let's receive this one. It's letting me know that a new receipt will be generated. We fill in the receipt date, the shipment information, go down to the items, and there were 5 orders, but let's say we're receiving 3. And we can blank it out and we can autofill the quantity as well. So if we autofill, it'll fill in the 5 that are remaining. I'm going to choose 3. We can give a comment if we want, do an attachment, but I'm just going to post it. And now back on the purchase order, if we open up that items again, we can see that we have quantity of 5, 3 have now been received. And if we go to shipping receiving, we have a link to that receipt we just generated. Here on another purchase order, you can close a PO that has been released and received. So select the close PO button, and remember this must be enabled within Sparkrock 365. It will let you know that it will archive and delete the purchase order. And the purchase order has now been archived. To access payment requests in mySparkrock, we'll go to the Finance and Purchasing menu and select Payment Requests. You can create a new one using the New button, which we'll do right now. Then we can select the payment type, which for us is required. Set the location, which is also set to be required for us, may not be for you. You've got your requested receipt date and your posting date. And then you can add a vendor. So we'll add a vendor right now. We'll choose First Up Consultants. You can attach backup using the attachments. And there's internal and external comments. Once your header's ready, we'll select Save. Now we can add items. So we'll select Payment Request Lines. We can add an expense or a predefined item. I'll add a predefined item. I'll add this chair. We can select our account set. And if it's not required, we don't have to. We can select the GL account and the dimensions directly. However, in this case, we will. We'll search for our account set. You can see it's pre-filled our GL account. We just want 1 chair in this case. You can add a vendor item number if needed. And we'll add a details, which for us is required. It may not be for you. And you can select your dimensions. Mine are pre-filled from my account set. We'll select Save. And now, unlike when we did purchase requisition earlier in this video, I've enabled budget checking. So if you see the budget tab, you can open it up and we can see how this is impacting our budget. In our case, we're good. So we'll verify for our approvers. And when our approvers are ready, we'll submit it for approval. And if we scroll up to the top, we can see that the status is submitted for approval. And we'll cover approving it later in the financial approval section of this video. You can now view posted purchase invoices right from mySparkrock. So to access, go to Finance and Purchasing, select Purchase Invoices. I'm going to open up this first one on the list here. And you can view information about the posted invoice. You can view information about the vendor, view the items, the payment details, view any attachments, and view information about the pay to vendor. And if you want to see more information about the items, you can select Expand and see information about each individual item on the purchase invoice. mySparkrock now lets managers with the appropriate license approve or deny, of course, expense claims, purchase requisitions, purchase orders, payment requests, and purchase invoices right from mySparkrock without needing to log into Sparkrock 365. And remember, you can do this on desktop or mobile, so you can take action wherever works for you. You don't need to wait till you're back at your computer. On desktop or mobile, when you go to Finance and Purchasing and then Financial Approvals, you'll see a list of your documents that are waiting for approval. Let's take a look at each type. You can see here we have some expense claims on the list. Let's take a look at this EC006 one. We can see the status of the claim, and we can see the header with the date, description, amount, and comment. We can go to the Expense tab, and view the expenses that make up this claim. And if you tap the View button, we can review the expense, and we see that this one is missing the Google Maps printout that the employee is supposed to do. So we're going to deny this one. And while we're in here, we can look at the Budget tab to review the impact on our budget. You can see we're good there. And in this case, we can either deny or approve. And in this case, we are going to deny. And we'll enter our comment. Yes. And now that claim has been sent back to the employee. Now let's take a look at this other one, EC005. We'll open this up. We can see that this was a meal. We'll take a look at the expenses. This one has an attachment. And we can review the attachment right in mySparkrock. So this one all looks good. We'll check our budget. Looks good. And in this case, we can see the other approvers if we need to. And then when we're ready, we can select Approve. Yes, we want to approve this claim. And the claim will either be approved or sent on to the next approver in the chain. Let's approve this purchase requisition number 17. So we'll open that up. We can view the header. We can expand the vendor information if we need to. Can collapse it. If there are any attachments, you can see them under the attachment section. If there are comments, you can view that there. You can view the items that are related to this purchase requisition, and you can select Expand to open them up if you want to see information. I'll collapse it back. You can then view the budget impact. So you can see here that this particular purchase requisition is over budget, but we are going to approve it anyway. We can view the approvers, and if we're ready, we can deny or approve. I will approve this one, so I'll select Approve. Yes, we want to approve this requisition. And now if we go up to the top, we can see that this purchase requisition is now approved. Purchase orders can be approved from the Financial Approvals page. We have one here with Type Order, so that's a purchase order. Open that up. And we can see that this is submitted but not yet approved. We can see the Buy From Vendor section, where we can view all that. We can view the items. And just like other types, we can expand it. We can see the dimensions. We'll collapse that back. You can view and download attachments. We can see the Pay To vendor, see information about shipping and receiving. And then we can see our approvers. So we can approve it or deny it. We'll approve this one. So I'll select Approve. And yes, we want to approve this purchase order. You'll see that the purchase order no longer appears in our financial approvals list. Let's open up a payment request here. We'll open up this one. And we have the status. We have the details, so we can find out more information about this payment request. We have the attachments. We can see there's no attachments here. We can open up the comments. So we have an internal comment, so we know what this is for. We can view the items. So this is for a conference bundle. We can check our budget. This one's okay for budget, so that's no problem. And we can see our approvers. We can approve or deny. In this case, budget-wise, we're fine. However, they haven't attached the backup that they need. So instead of approving it, we're going to deny this one. So we're going to select Deny. It's asking us, are we sure we want to deny? Yes, we do. We'll put in a comment for why we're denying it, and then we'll select Yes, we want to deny. And you can see that this payment request is no longer on our list of financial approvals because it's been sent back to the submitter. Now let's open up this invoice for approval. So in mySparkrock, we can approve purchase invoices. We'll view the invoice and vendor information. You can see which items make up this. We've got our payment information. We can check attachments. So on mobile or on desktop, we could download and view this attachment just to make sure the invoice information is there, which it is. We can see the other approvers if there are any, and then we can approve and deny. In this case, I'm going to approve it because everything I need is there. Yes, we want to approve it. And there you go. It's approved and removed from the financial approvals list. And it's either approved or sent to the next approver in the chain. For a complete list of everything in this mySparkrock release, check the release notes. Our goal is to make mySparkrock, and Sparkrock 365 of course, better and more convenient for employees and managers. If there are any other features you'd like to see in mySparkrock, please let us know. Thank you so much for watching.